Welcome back to another episode with ByrdAdatto. As we've been going through these last couple of weeks, we've been really talking about how COVID-19 is impacting all of us, both from a professional perspective in our businesses. And as a lot of you know, we have a lot of clients in the medical community, so we definitely have certain videos that are concentrating on that. And as we talked about in other episodes, a lot of clients of ours are closed right now, and that's impacting them in ways in which they never anticipated to either be closed or partially open. And because of that, we felt like there are ways for you to start thinking about what you can be doing now versus what you can be doing in the future, and preparing yourself for when the economy gets turned back on. And we have a special guest here, and Michael, why don't you bring in our guest who's coming in from us all the way from California?
Yes, well, we've known Ryan for a long time. Ryan Miller is with Etna Interactive. He's the CEO. And we've had clients over 10 years. We've worked together with mutual clients and spoken at the same conferences. Etna is a well-respected company in the industry. Many of you probably know Ryan. And the clients that Ryan's worked with are titans in the industry. And so really excited that you're willing to join us today and share some.
Well, it's my honor to be here. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, well, and Ryan, let's jump right in. So as we were kind of alluding to, is right now is a lot of people are at home trying to figure out what to do. And this is, with change comes opportunities. And you were kind enough to share an article that you had written on online marketing tactics to help weather this. What should they be thinking about right now? What are some of the strategies that you can let them know, hey, while you're at home, this is how you should start thinking about it, or this is what you start doing with your business?
Yeah, so the white paper that we shared really was informed. We're a 20-year-old organization. We've been through 3 or 4 major economic downturns in that same period. And it really was informed by our learnings coming out of largely the Great Recession specifically. And what I think would maybe be good for today is just to kind of frame the white paper in. Everybody, it's freely available to you. I'm sure you guys will share that link. It really focuses on 12 tactics that practice leaders can engage in, whether they can assign out to team members who are idle right now to make the most of this downtime. But to frame around it, I think it's important to acknowledge that for a lot of clinic leaders right now, you spent the last couple of weeks putting out fires, and you maybe haven't circled back around to getting the clearest message out, both to your patients, your prospects, and to your team about what exactly is happening in the clinic today. So a really great place for people to start as a leader is to develop a clear message, at least for right now, about your orientation today as it relates to COVID. Are you going to be seeing patients virtually? Are you completely closed? Do you have an outlook on when and how things will be when you might resume? And get that messaging really clearly positioned on your site and on all of the other major platforms where patients might find you today. And that's going to give you that nice quiet, that space to breathe where you can begin to focus on the future. Now, at the same time that you're getting that message out, a really smart thing to do is to check in on the communications that you already have in the wind. So look at the last blog post that you circulated. Take a look at the messaging, the last post that you had on Instagram or on Facebook. So your social media messaging that's out there is very likely what we're going to see is that there's a significant number of both your patients and prospects who are looking you up online right now. And if the thing that they see isn't a sensitive, empathetic, aware message from your clinic, and instead what they see is that last promotion that you put out there just before all hell broke loose, it really may not reflect very well on you as a leader and on your clinic brand in the market. So the second thing before you get to that white paper and looking to the future is to take that moment to look back and to audit the messaging that you have still circulating at the top of the pile on those major social platforms. Now, keep in mind as well, you may, if you had them running on autopilot, you might have some social media posts that you had scheduled for release that you want to back out. You may be running ads or promotions on different platforms that it's time to cancel, and make sure that everything is clean and ready for you to have an aware presence given what's happening in the world right now. Now, with all of that stuff said, it's time that you can go, you can hit that link, you can download the white paper and give yourself, give members of your team, give the agency that you're working with some assignments that are going to help make you better prepared to come out of COVID. Now, it was really interesting, guys. We were just talking with one of our clients yesterday. He's based in California, and he had to push so many appointments from his schedule forward, and he's had so much interest in virtual consultations that whenever he's able to start seeing patients again, his best estimate is that he's going to be super busy for about 2 months. Now, obviously, that's not everyone's circumstance, and certainly not for all providers inside of a clinic, but get a sense of exactly what your level of saturation is expected to be, your best guess here, and then start to build a plan where you can fill and build up a pipeline of demand to get you to just the right amount of busyness over the 3 to 6 months that are expected to follow. I think it's safe to say that we need to be sensitive to the truth, which is there's going to be a population of patients and prospects who come out of this strong and able and ready to afford elective procedures, ready to invest with pent-up demand and eager to see you. And they're going to be frustrated if they can't get in right away. There's also going to be a population of patients who would love to see you and simply won't have the financial means or the emotional security to make that move right away. And our messaging, the activities that we engage in as we start to swing out of this, need to be sensitive to both of those traits.
That's great. I love just the kind of assignments from a practical perspective on how people can be using their time right now, and the sensitivity to tone that everyone needs to have with the pandemic in the background.
Yeah, and what we hear from most of our clinics, guys, is that they've pared down to a fairly minimum staff. But the vast majority of them, obviously, we have physicians who have time right now, and some few members of staff who are continuing to answer calls and emails. And all of those folks, while they're there on the payroll, we can make the best possible use of their time. And what you're going to find in the guide are 12 different tactics with specific details that will allow you to get members of the team busy in ways that will help the practice perform better on the other side of COVID. And it'll range from going back and either refreshing old blog posts or writing new ones that can help to improve your search engine rankings, or populating new before and after photos in your gallery so you're showcasing the best of your work. And a lot of them are going to be those projects that you neglected because you've been fortunate over the last few years to simply be too busy to attend to them.
Completely agree. All great points. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us again today.
It's great to be here, guys. Thanks so much.
And we look forward to the next episode that we get out to our audience. Thanks so much.
Thanks.